Good evening, welcome to Formula Racing League Round 5 from Paul Ricard. Hope you're all well and have had a cracking weekend so far. I'm looking forward to a couple of exciting races tonight. We've got a sprint and feature race live from Paul Ricard for Round 5 of the PureSimGear Super Sprint Sunday. We've got we should have a full grid tonight. We've got quite a stacked grid. We've got 27 drivers in the lobby at the moment. I think we're expecting one more to sneak in just before qualifying starts. So a stacked grid of Pro-Am, Am and drivers. Though we do have quite a lot of Am drivers running tonight. So it's going to be a race, probably going to throw up quite a lot of exciting race now, I'd imagine. And it's a track that is... It's a bit like Marmite. If you're from England and used to the Marmite brand, you will know what I mean when I say that. A lot of people either hate or love this track. For me personally, I actually do think it's quite exciting to drive, as it's especially Sector 3. But it is tricky to get right, and it can actually serve up some really nice racing. So hopefully we can see that tonight throughout the both sprint and feature races. So, introductions out of the way. I am Al Robinson. Lewis is your commentator tonight. I shall be bringing you both races live and for the rest of the season as well. If you are watching live, please do drop a like on the video, drop a comment, do my best to read them out, respond to you, etc. And if you haven't already done so, please whack that subscribe button on the Formula Racing League's YouTube channel. So, got about 2 minutes to go for the end of free practice, and I'll just bring you a little bit of a roundup of the championship standings across the Pro and Am tiers. So, let's just go down the order as we go through the championship standings. So your championship leader in the Pro class is this man on your screens now, the number 48 BMW Rapid Duck. He's currently on 219 points. Now, he's the man to beat tonight, as he has won the last 4 races. When I say the last 4, that means a sprint and feature at both Kyalami and Silverstone. So he's the man to beat tonight, number 48 BMW Rapid Duck. In second place in the championship is this guy here, 212 Porsche Dalwufka. He's on 210, so he's 9 points behind Rapid Duck. He's not yet won a race this season, but he's been racking up those podium positions quite steadily. So the Wufka will be looking to get as close as possible to Rapid Duck. He currently finds himself just under a second and a half away off Rapid Duck's time of a 154.8. Third place in Pro is this guy here, Kanesa, another BMW driver, 55 BMW. He's on 205. So again, top 3, just to remind you, Rapid Duck, Dawu, Dawufka and Kanesa. There's literally about 15 points separating all 3 of them, so very close at the top for Pro. And just to bring you the rest of the grid in Pro, so we've got Moggs in P4 with 198. Again, only 20 points behind. He's currently P2 in practice. We've got Morex in P5, who's just snuck into the lobby in the 99 Mercedes. We have Rui, who is not racing tonight. So Rui currently sits 6th in the championship, but he isn't racing tonight. He also missed last week as well, so his championship points total is taking a little bit of a beating with these 2 DNSs. We have the smoking Frenchman of Will Friedman in P7. He is now in the lobby and getting in his practice laps. He's on 164, so quite a bit of work to do when it comes to points totals. But he did have a better race last week at Kyalami. He got a P3 in Pro Class in the sprint race. And then rounding out the top 10, we've got P8, which is FRL's very own Chris Gedman. He sits in 8th. We have Shadow Lancer in P9. Where's Mr. Shadow Lancer? I know he's around here somewhere. Is he not yet joined the lobby potentially? He's potentially our last driver we're waiting for. I don't think he's in here yet, but he is expected to be racing tonight. And then we have Palermo in P10, who is also missing tonight. So that's your top 10 for Pro. And then quickly getting through and before qualifying starts. Leading the way is Mr. Anderson. Bit of a Matrix reference there. The 888 Mercedes of Anderson currently leads the way with 216 points. We then have Jay Brooker in second place on 208. Jay Brooker currently occupies P4 in practice in the 166 Audi. And then we have AMR Vantage. Vantage is C Knight, he's number 46, as we just see him going off track there. He currently sits third in the championship with 200 points. And then we have Handanev fourth, Hugo Cito fifth, De Gabri sixth, Roger seventh, Wee Danny eighth. Just a special mention on Wee Danny actually. Wee Danny is Kutchen. He's now racing on the direct drive wheel, and so far his pace has proven to be improved with that direct drive wheel. He's currently third fastest in practice, so hopefully he'll be looking to carry that over into qualifying. So he sits 8th in the championship. Jackie Van Eck, all the way from Holland, sits in P9. Here he is in the number 72 Audi. And then we have Stereotypy in P10. So that is your top 10s from both Pro and Am, as we're just waiting for the last cars across the line before qualifying starts. Yo, De Gabri, how you doing? Good to have you with us. Best of luck for tonight. So just got a minute or so before qualifying starts, and I believe the 48 BMW of Rapid Duck are looking to be the first one out. He always tends to be the first car out for qualifying, so let's see if he manages to maintain that.
Green light, go, go, go.
So, green light is on, and as expected, Rapid Duck is the first one out. So, straight onto it. So just to remind you, if you are new to this sprint series format, we have the 1 15-minute qualifying session for both Pro and Am classes, and this qualifying results will set the starting order for both races, as we have a 20-minute sprint and a 40-minute sprint. There is no mandatory pit stop, so it's just a straight flag to flag push. And as you will see, the conditions here in Paul Ricard are absolutely perfect for racing. We've got an air temperature of 17 degrees, a track temp of 24, and we've got a pure bright sunshine. We've had a couple of races so far this season where there have been mixed conditions that have been really challenging for a lot of drivers, but we have not got that today. So let's just go on board with Rapid Duck as he starts his first flying lap. Just bear with me while I flick through the awkwardness of the PlayStation UI to find Rapid Duck. Here he is. Let's go on board with him for the first flying lap of tonight. So down the main straight into turn 1, you were looking for the curbing or the cones on the right hand side for the braking, down to second gear most likely. Don't take too much of that corner, you will get track limits, and then again watch the traction on this corner. Don't go too wide like that, as that is potentially a track warning there for Rapid Duck, but we'll stay on board, give you a little bit of a track guide. So down into turn 3 and 4, down the second gear, flick it right, flick it left. You can take a little bit of curb here, easy on the throttle, and then down to first gear for turns 5 and 6. Probably the most trickiest section of the track. Back end really wants to step out here. It's going to be really easy on the throttle, and then sling the car out, not like that, as that is certainly is track limits, all the way down the Minsterhouse straight, reaching about 170 miles per hour, I believe, in most cars down here. This is going to be all important in the race, the slipstreams, things like that. And your braking zone for turns 10 is just where the curbing starts. This is not a flying lap for Rapid Duck, as he has gone wide, but you flick the car right, keep it full throttle, and all the way down into third. And again, don't let the car go too far out wide. Coast it into second, easy on the throttle. Again, back end wants to step out, but you can ease the throttle in And then you've got quite a few different lines into this next corner, but it's mainly taken out wide, down to second, bring the car in, hit the apex, early on the throttle, get the power out of the corner. And then you've got another tricky braking zone here where it's a bit of a late apex, down to second gear, and then some go wide, like Rapid Duck's doing now, some do hug the curving on the left, and then down to first gear for the final corner, early on the power, don't hit the curb, like that's now going to ruin his traction now, that final corner, but yeah, that is a lap of Paul Ricard. So let's just try and see these times coming in. We've got an almighty gaggle of cars crossing the line. Here's Jay Brooker, the 166 Audi. He does not set a time, he's just starting his lap. We've got a lot of cars crossing behind him, so we'll just wait for these times to come tumbling in. So Wolfgut has set the fastest time so far, but we do only have 6 times on the board as we've got a car in the background staying out of the way. Now it looked like an Aston Martin. So 156.3 so far from Wolfgut. We're expecting pole to be a little bit quicker than that, as we've got 27 drivers on track. Traffic could be a bit of an issue around here, and there's a big group of cars coming around turns 4, 5 and 6 now, so traffic could be a bit of an issue for some of these drivers, as we see Will Friedman, the smoking Frenchman, place that Mercedes on provisional pole position with a 56 flat. But I would not be surprised if we see a 55 on the leaderboard in the next 9 minutes. Let's just keep our eyes on who's crossing the lines. We've got car 71 on the way round. This is Stones Racing in the Lamborghini, one of the reserve drivers for tonight. The sole Lambo on the grid. Don't see many of these Lambos around nowadays. And then we have Buddy Lee coming across the line as well. As he aborts. And then we've got McCutcheon on the direct drive for the first time this week. McCutcheon improves and goes P4. Nicholas Langdon, just what my Sunday needs. Oh, of course, that's very kind of you. Good to have you with us, Nick. So, where is Rapid Duck? He's still not set a time. Here he comes now. He's coming around turns 11 and 12. This is the guy to be with back-to-back race wins. By the looks of it, he's having to abort this lap as well. He's probably just saving some time, backing off a little bit, create some space. But he's got to watch out. He's got Will Friedman in the number 8 Mercedes coming up behind him. So Rapid Duck, he's a little bit under pressure here, as he's now done 2 laps without really setting a competitive time. As we see Jay Brooker currently occupying P2 in qualifying. Now Jay Brooker was a surprise pole position last week at Kyle Army. As we see Wolfgang go into those 55s, as the commentator said a couple of minutes ago, 55.7 for Wolfgang, so he is piling the pressure on Rapid Duck. So Wolfgang is Rapid Duck's main challenger in the title, as he will be looking to get any advantage he can on him. As Rapid Duck's got a car gone wide ahead of him. Let's try and work out who that is. He's let him by anyway. Yugosito P4, Canesa P5, Chavez 6. Based on practice, high 54s are possible. Yeah, I think I did see someone in the 54s in practice earlier on today, so yeah, definitely wouldn't be a surprise. Optimum track now as well. It's not too hot either, only 17 degrees, so it's fairly decent conditions for quick times. As we see Stereotypy move up to P3, but then Ollie Mac 82 in the 82 McLaren goes all the way up to second, so that's a very good time so far from FRLACC. Morex had a 54.8. Now, did he? Oh, I missed that. So Morex is on the grid. He's not yet set a time either. Or has he? He's just jumped up off the leaderboard, so where has he gone? And there we go. Like clockwork, Morex goes into provisional pole with a 55.3. So if he's done a 54.8, then he's got a couple of attempts in that time then. So Rapid Duck really is under pressure tonight. I think he's got a lot of competition from Morex and Wufka today. Where does Rapid Duck go? He goes third. He's 4 tenths off Morex, but that potentially is just a bit of a sighter. He had not yet registered the time before that lap, so that's probably just a bit of a sighter for him. So he's going to find 4 tenths. But here is your provisional pole sitter, Morex, the 99 Mercedes. You can tell that by the pink livery. He's had a couple of rough races recently, Morex in FRL. He's had a couple of bad results in Taco Tuesdays. He won at Suzuka quite convincingly, and then I think Silverstone and Kyalami had quite bad results, so he'll be looking for a bit of a recovery in the form tonight. As we now just creep into the final 5 minutes of qualifying. FRLACC is currently the AM driver quickest, and we have Jay Brooker and Stereotypy. Let's just have a quick look down the bottom of the grid. We've still got a number of drivers not yet set a time. That's Jack Slater, Moggs, Buddy Lee, who's in the pits, Captain, and Shadow Lancer has now joined the lobby. So we have got 28 drivers in, which is a full grid. We did have 29 registered, but one driver unfortunately had to pull out at the last moment. So we've got a full grid really. As we see Morex cross the line, does he extend his time? He does. He increases his lead with a 55 flat. He's now got 7 tenths on Wufka and Rapid Duck. Morex really is laying down the challenge to these guys tonight. Got a number of pro drivers identified by their white number. We've got 4 of them at the back of the grid, not yet set a time. Here is Shadow Lancer, as we see a Porsche go off in the background after number 16. It was at Liam Knott, I think. 16 it is, Liam Knott going off in the background. We've got Captain, and we've got Buddy Lee, he's still in the pits, potentially not qualified, maybe starting from the back. And then we've got Moggs, so 4 pro drivers, not yet set a time. But here comes Moggs, number 14 Ferrari. Can he get a time on the board? He can. He goes all the way up to P4. So that's a competitive time from Moggs. As we're about to see Wufka come round, has he got 7 tenths in the back of that car? Because if he hasn't, he needs it. He doesn't improve. Here's Jay Brooker. Let's just look at the AM class championship leader. So Anderson is leading the championship in the AM class at the moment, but he is all the way down in P16, and he's quite a way down in the AM class as well. He's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's like 9th in AM class in qualifying as well, so he's not having the greatest qualifying thus far. He's just trying to get out of the way of a lot of traffic here. There's a lot of cars coming around the final few corners. As we see, Yugo Sito is actually leapfrogs FRLACC to take P5, but quickest out of the AM drivers. So Morex is in the pits, and that is his qualifying done. So he's laid down his marker, and he's gone, right, Wufka, Rapid Duck, Moggs, what have you got? As we see Moggs with an absolute cracking time of a 55.1. He goes just over a tenth off Morex. That is a really good time for Moggs. That came out of nowhere. The track could just be rubbering up a little bit. The tyres are coming to these drivers in the final few moments. What's Woofka got as he comes across the line? He doesn't improve. Woofka does not improve. Rapid Duck is on the Minstrel straight. So P5, P6 and P7 are Hugo Cito, Olimac and Kanata have all boxed. That's their qualifying done. Rogers and Gedman are also boxed, so their qualifying's done. They occupy 18th and 19th. Jack Davison, Jack Slater and Buddy Lee are also boxed. So a number of drivers have already completed their qualifying. There is still probably half the grid yet to cross the line, and we've got 242 and 729 about to cross the line. 729 is Digabri and Chavez. And then we have the 242 of Naisbit, so they're going to get another lap in. But here comes Rapid Duck. As we see Chavez go for P4. So Chavez with a cracking time there from the AM class. As you see the BMW of Rapid Duck flying around the final corner. Can he improve? He does, but it's only good enough for P3. But he's got time for one more lap. Importantly, he had 10 seconds on the clock as he crossed the line. Rapid Duck has got time for one more flying lap. Can he find 6 tenths? He is under pressure tonight, Rapid Duck. He probably is not used to being this far down the grid. He's used to occupying that P1 spot. Where is Woofka? Woofka's final rounding turns 11 and 12. He's got a gap of 7 tenths to Morex. It's certainly close tonight. The top 9 is separated by a second. Oh, really, the top 11, given Jay's and Sarah Tippy's time there, ever so close. The qualifying is very close around the grid. But here comes Woofka. Can he improve? He does, but again, it's only good enough for P3. So all eyes are on Rapid Duck. All eyes are on Rapid Duck, and the Chavez is also out there. We've got Friedman as well. So Chavez is going to be the first one over the line out of those three. As Jay finishes his lap, he's P10, Jay Brooker. So Chavez, the 729 McLaren, currently the quickest out of the AM class. With a very good qualifying. I think this will be his best qualifying of the season so far. So Chavez does not improve. Here's Rapid Duck. This is the one to watch. So Rapid Duck does improve, but again it's only good enough for P3. Here comes Friedman across the line as well. Friedman does not improve. So there is your qualifying. Pole position is taken by the number 99 AMG Mercedes of Morex with a 55 flat. Moggs with an absolute storming qualifying in P2. Rapid Duck, the winner of the last 4 races at the last 2 tracks, is only good enough or quick enough for P3. So we've got a battle on our hands tonight, I believe, between Morex and Rapid Duck, and let's not understate Moggs there. If his race pace is just as quick as his qualifying pace, he's going to get that 14 Ferrari in and amongst it. So let's give you a full roundup of where we are, because we've got 28 drivers to go through, so just bear with me as I go through these quite quickly. So as I said, Morex P1, Moggs P2, Rapid Duck 3rd, Woofka 4th, Chavez 5th, quickest of the AM drivers, Smoking Frenchman of Will Freeman is number 6th, Hugo Cito 7th, Olimac 8th, Canesa 9th, Brooker 10th, Stereotypy 11th, Naisbit 12th, Sarge 13th, Knott 14th, Vanek 15th, McCutcheon 16th. Anderson is the AM class championship leader so far, all the way down in 17th. A lot of work to do for Mr. Anderson tonight. 18th for Rogers, Gedman 19th, Gilas 20th, Knight 21st, MPL 22nd, Shallow Lancer 23rd, Jack Davison 24th, Jack Slater 25th, Captain 26th, Stones Racing 27th, and Matthews 28th, and then Buddy Lee 29th. So that is the full grid. We've got 29 drivers. Matthews, who I believe is meant to be missing tonight, but he's miraculously turned up. So there we go. 29 drivers. We've got a 20-minute sprint race heading your way in about 2 to 3 minutes time, and then we've got a 40-minute feature race after that. So yeah, time to go get your drinks, guys. Quick toilet break, whatever you need to do, a couple of minutes, and then we've got the sprint race heading your way. So guys, I'm back. I was just having a quick refreshment and a bite of my race snack in the commentary box tonight. I've got some nice little dairy milk, fruit and nut to keep me going for the next hour or so. Can't beat a little bit of chocolate on a Sunday night. So, server is just doing its thing for a couple of minutes. Drivers are just loading their race setups. They've got to get their fuel levels right for 20 minutes. And they've got to get the tyre temps right as well, the tyre pressures, because temperature on the air temp has gone down from 17 degrees down to 16. So they've got to keep an eye on that. And it's worth noting as well, the feature race, it'll probably be a little bit, it may go down to 15 degrees as well, as it is an hour later in game. So this race is starting at 5 PM local time, and then the feature race will start at 6 PM local time. But pretty much perfect conditions. Not a single cloud in the sky. It's bright sunshine, so no chance of rain. Just pure racing ahead of them. So there's quite a few of you watching live. Please do drop a like on the video, guys. And if you are new to FRL, please do check us out on Discord. We've got a number of races throughout the week. We've got obviously you've got tonight's, which is Sprint Sunday. We have Taco Tuesdays. We have Late Night Thursdays. We've got Endurance, which is single driver endurance on a Friday. And we've also got a team endurance starting next month,
30 seconds.
pending server and patch issues. But we are looking to start a team endurance with driver swap, and that'll be like an FRL Spring Series. So plenty of racing to get your teeth into. And if you do race in FRL and you're not yet a Patreon subscriber, please do check out the benefits
10 seconds.
channel, as all Patreon members, the money goes towards the running costs of FRL. Your support is, as always, is very much appreciated. So formation lap is going to be underway as Morex leads them away. Let's just get you on board. So the driver's going to have quite a long straight to get their brake temperatures up and their tyre pressures. We may see a lot of weaving going on there in a few moments' time. As we see the 46 Audi of Knight stuck in the pits, so he'll be starting from the pit lane. So we have 28 drivers on the grid. Let's just remind you of that top four, the top five. So we've got Moritz pole position, Moggs second, Rapid Duck third, championship leader in pro, Wolfgut in fourth, is second place in the championship. So those two are going to be bumper to bumper. Chavez, Friedman, Yugasito, Olimak, Canesa. So these drivers now on the Minstrel straight, just getting their tyre pressures all sorted, getting the brake temperatures up. Cracking qualifying result for J Sarge there, one of the reserve drivers tonight, all the way up into P13. That's a cracking result for him. As we see Jack Davidson go off in the Porsche. We know it's a little bit squirrely under traction, but he's potentially just dropped that car while getting some temperatures into his tyres as he catches the grid back up. Slightly embarrassing that I've caught that on stream for you, Jack, but let's pretend no one noticed that. So we're minutes away, guys, from the start of this race. We've got 28 cars going head-to-head around Paul Ricard for round 5 of the PlayStation 5 Formula Racing League PureSimGear Super Sprint Sunday. Halfway through the season, we're almost approaching squeaky bum time in the championship for some of these drivers. So it's all about building momentum and getting those results at this stage of the championship, heading into the final few rounds. And that's where the result is going to matter when it comes to the championship table. So the drivers will be heading into their 2x2 formation very shortly. So drivers are just getting themselves positioned. As we see all 28 cars come around the final few corners, that's an absolutely great shot of all the colourful GT3 cars. So importantly, Moritz are going to have the inside line for turn 1. We're going to stay on board with this helicopter cam to watch the carnage unfold, and we're going to approach the start-finish line as all cars for all 28, with one starting from the pit lane round the final corner, and we're about to go racing here at Paul Ricard for round 5. And we are green, let's go. Moggs has got a cracking start on the outside, but Moritz has quickly got a better acceleration in phase 2. Wolfgut is in the Porsche, and on the outside he's already got the P2, as Moggs has been overtaken by him. We've got Friedman on the outside as well, Rapid Duck down the inside. We've got 3 wide at turn 1. We've got a little bit of contact there. Jay Brooker's gone round. We've got 2 or 3 cars. I think that's Chris Gedman or Staines Racing involved there as well. So Jay Brooker got touched. I think it was Brooker. McCutcheons was involved there as well. As Jay Brooker goes deep as well on the brakes. So the Audi having a little bit of a struggle on the opening few corners. Let's just go to the top of the track. As we've got Moggs has had a bit of a disastrous start. He's down in P4, but Moritz is leading the way. So Moritz has managed to get onto the Minstrel straight in P1. We've got Wolfka P2, Rapid Duck 3rd, Moggs 4th, Friedman up to 5th. Naisbitz had a cracking start up to P6. J Sarge again, likewise, cracking start, P7 for him, but he's under pressure from Olimak. Let's go on board with the 82 McLaren. He's in the slipstream, he pulls to the right. Gets the move done, Olimak. So good racing there from the 2 drivers. as we see Jack Davidson and Shadow Lancer. So Jack Davidson moves up and takes that position. Shadow Lancer goes a little bit wide. We've got a slow car off somewhere, and that is J Sarge. J Sarge is off. Let's just join back on board, as we're now on board with Moggs. He's all over the back of Rapid Duck. Goes for the move down the inside of the final corner. Rapid Duck gives him space, and Moggs moves up, but has Rapid Duck got the better exit? We're side by side across the start finish line. Rapid Duck's going to have the inside line to turn 1. Both on the brakes, and they'd go round side by side. Who takes the corner? Rapid Duck gets the move done, and now Friedman is going to be all over the back of Moggs. In fact, Friedman's now going to be on the inside of the next corner. Moggs was in the space of 2 corners. He was battling for 1 position, but now he's lost 2 positions in the space of 3 corners. So Friedman moves up to P4, and Moggs goes down to P5. So let's just bring you the standings so you can see on the left hand side of your screens where we are. So Moritz has now extended that lead to 1.2 seconds. Wufka second, Rapid Duck third, Friedman fourth, Moggs fifth. He's going to have the slipstream down here. Is he going to be able to get a move done into turn 10? I think he is. That Ferrari is rapid in a straight line, and especially with the slipstream in the toe. So Moggs moves up into P4, as we've got Naisbitt and Ollie Mack in the background as well. The slipstream really is going to bring a lot of cars together. And let's just take a look at J Sarge, because he's got a bit of a train behind him. He's got Rogers right on the back of him. McCutcheon P13, Jack Davison 14th, Giugastito 15th, Shadow Lancer 16th, Gidas 17th, Stones Racing 18th, with MPL 19th, Buddy Lee 20th, Chavez 21st. Chavez has had a disastrous start to this race. I think he was probably one of the cars that got tagged on the start of lap 1. Captain 22nd, not 23rd, 24th is Jack Slater. Knight, who started from the pit lane, is 25th. Vanek has had a disastrous start as well in 26th, and as you can see, he's got significant damage there. Gedman as well, all the way down in 27th, and Anderson, who's a championship leader in AM class, is retired from the race. But let's just rejoin the battle for the podium positions, because we've got 4 or 5 cars here. Make that 7 cars, all within a second of each other, battling away. So we're on board with Moggs. He's all over the back of Rapid Duck. He's going to have an absolute cracking run in the slipstream down the Minster Straight. Oh, Moggs loses it on the exit. On the exit, he's lost it. Already rejoins it, almost collects Ollie Mack. That's disastrous for Moggs. Oh, that's really bad luck. He just lost it on the exit of that corner, and he was running so well. His pace was really good. Rapid Duck was really under a lot of pressure from him. As we see Moggs just now fighting with Jack Davidson as they go side by side into the corner. Moggs has the inside, and Jack Davidson kind of smart enough just to back out the throttle a little bit. As we see the brilliant shot of all the cars coming flying around that right-hander of turn 10, as we see Liam not go a little bit wide. There's Jack Slater. So Rapid Duck just trying to break that toe a little bit of Will Friedman. we see Jack Davison and McCutcheon getting a little bit messy over that curbing, and he's gone deep into that corner as well, and Jack Davison had to stand on the brakes. Davison could get a cracking run out of this final corner, this corner onto the Minster House straight. He's got to watch for J Sarge in the background as well. McLaren's got a good exit though. So as you can see there on the straight, that Porsche really is struggling for power. McCutcheon just pulled away, and he just let Jack Davison could not close the gap on the straight. And now he's under significant pressure from J Sarge. Hugo Cito and Gilas looking to join that fight as well. So this is all way for the battle for P13. As we see J Sarge, does he have a little look at the inside there? He almost does. Jack Davison closes the door. They're around the final corner. Can J Sarge get the better exit? I think he's going to. Is he going to make a move up the inside? He doesn't. They stay single file round the final first few corners. So Jack Davison under significant pressure there. Let's just have a look to see what's going on at the top of the leaderboard. So, pretty much as you were, we've got Moritz with around a 3.8 second lead. Here is your race leader. He's got Chris Gedman just pulling to the side there to get out of the way. Oh, I tell you what, that was close as Gedman kind of pulls in behind. And in fact, Gedman's going to have... What? Is it Gedman? I'm pretty sure that is Gedman. That was almighty close for a back mark as we see Gedman go off and almost lose it as well. Let's just have a look at Stereotypic because he's under a lot of pressure from Canesa. This is the battle for P7. And Jay Brooker's in the background will be keeping a keen eye on what happens to these three drivers. This is Canesa, Stereotypic and Naisbitt all battling for P6. Let's just see what's happening here as we're on board now. We've got three cars going wide into turns 11 and 12. We've got Jack Davison, we've got Hugo Cito, we've got J Sarge, we've got Gilas. It's all happening with these guys. Let's just get on board the helicopters, get a better angle of all of this. As we see J Sarge go down the inside of Hugo Cito, or Hugo Cito trying to go around the outside, shall I say. But now J Sarge is going to be almighty because as he goes down the inside, does he know? Jack Davison almost.
We are at the halfway mark, still a long way to go.
So we're now halfway into this sprint race. So Jack Davison's a little bit of a cork in the bottle at the moment with these drivers. J Sarge certainly looks like he's got the better pace, as he's all over the back of that Porsche. You think he's going to have to run here? I think he is. He's going to have to run on Jack Davison. He's going to have the inside line to this next corner. As there's a little bit of contact, there's contact between the two drivers as he turns in. Thankfully, looks like both drivers have managed to avoid going off, as we do see Jack Davison finally spin off over the curves. So it looked like he just turned in and banged doors. Thankfully, J Sarge was unaffected by that, and he managed to maintain take the position without having to go off track. And we're just on board now with Ollie Mack, and I think he's moved ahead of Will Friedman. He has. So Ollie Mack's moved up to P4 and Friedman is now P5. This is a cracking race from Ollie Mack so far. The Jay Brooker is now up to 6th place, and he's currently occupying P2 in the AM class. But he's under significant pressure here from Canesa in the 55 BMW. Stereotypy currently 3rd in class, and he's got the recovering Moggs behind him. So Moggs, he was occupying 2nd and 3rd spot. He lost it on the entry to the Minster Isle Straight, and he's now in P9, but looking to battle his way up the grid again. But he's 1.5 seconds away from P8 of Stereotypy. Naisbit is having a respectable race so far in P10. And we've got Rogers in 11th, McCutcheon. J Sarge has managed to get past Jack Davison, and he can now press on in clean air. As we see MPL having a little look down the inside of Stones Racing in the Lamborghini. Can he get that move done? I think he has. That's fantastic overtaking there from MPL down the inside of Stones Racing. Stones Racing was respectful and left him room to be fair. As we see Liam not having a little look at the other side of Stones. So he's now going to have... Oh, the Lamborghini goes wide. That's the Lambo wide. Oh, he almost collects Buddy Lee in the Ferrari. So Stones Racing lost it like we saw with Moggs a few laps ago. Loses it on the entry. MPR with a cracking move before that. Where's Liam Knott? Liam Knott is now under significant pressure for captain. We've got Buddy Lee. So Liam Knott has just lost 2 positions on the straight in that Porsche, but Buddy Lee's had to get heavily on the brakes. That's reopened the door to Liam Knott in the blue Porsche at the bottom of your screens. It's cracking racing throughout the grid here. This is all the battle for P19 and 20th. As we see Buddy Lee go up the inside of Captain. The Captain's got the traction. As we see Liam Knott in the background going very wide. So Captain's going to have the inside, Buddy Lee's going to have the outside, but Liam Knott's now rejoined and now all over the back of that Ferrari. So here's Moggs. He's actually now, Moggs must have had another moment somewhere, because he's now dropped down to P10, and Naisbit, who was running in 10th, has moved up to 9th. So Moggs is just dropping down the field yet again, potentially due to another error. But here on board with Friedman, he is now closing the gap nicely to Olimat. This is the battle for P4. As Wolf, after you just see Morex's lead out front, is now 6.7 seconds. Wolfka really is controlling this race beautifully. But Wolfka is having a good race so far for his championship. But unfortunately for him, his championship rival occupies P3, Rapid Duck. So, 2 title contenders currently occupying 2nd and 3rd. Canesa, who is 3rd in the championship, occupies 7th. But Morex, who is 5th in the championship, is obviously leading the way. Moggs is up there as well. So, those are your top 5 drivers. Moggs has obviously been the biggest loser out of the top 5 guys in the championship standings so far. So what's happened here then? So Chavez and Gilas. Who's that Audi? Is that Yugosito? So it's Yugosito. So I think Gilas has actually got ahead of Yugosito. And I think Chavez is now going to have, as we see, Moggs pits. Moggs is boxing. Chavez has got a good run here on Yugosito. Is he going to have a look up the inside? He isn't. He's going to maintain P15 and look to stay neat and tidy around these tight, twisty corners off turns 4, 5, 6 and 7. So you'll be looking to get a very good exit onto the Minster Straight and have a go at Yugosito. So let's just get you some. So here is Chavez. Yugosito is now making a move on Gilas and the Aston Martin. Yugosito is going to have a look to the inside of turn 10. They both go side by side. Both we've got the Chavez in the background. We've got the McLaren of Chavez flying into our rear view mirrors. As Chavez is now having a look up the inside. In fact, I think Chavez has got the move done, but Yugosito is now going to be side by side, almost come together. So Chavez and Yugosito having a great battle here. Both drivers giving each other fantastic racing room, really good hard racing. This is all for the battle for 15. This is why Sprint Sundays are so good, because you're going to have battles like this throughout the grid. Drivers racing hard as nails against each other for positions from P1 to P29. So great battle there. Chavez moves up to take Yugosito's position. So Friedman, can he get Olimak on the straight here? It looks like he's going to have a good slipstream. So, not entirely sure what happened there. Olimak almost just got off the throttle and just completely gave the position to Will Friedman and then flashed his lights. So, not entirely sure if there's been an incident before that between the two drivers. I don't know. So here is your race leader, as you've just heard from the pit lane. Leader is on this final lap. So Morex, who has led this race from start to finish, had an absolutely fantastic sprint race thus far. It's got a gap of 9.6 seconds. And he's just got to bring that car home for the next 2 miles for the sprint victory tonight and break that consecutive run of Rapid Duck. But Rapid Duck is ever so slightly closing that gap to Wufka, but I think he's going to have a little bit too much to do on the final lap. So Olimak has really dropped back now, and he's now under a lot of pressure from Jay Brooker. So Jay Brooker is currently running P2 in AM class. This is the battle for the race win in AM class, and Jay Brooker's going to have an absolutely fantastic opportunity to take the AM class win tonight in the sprint race. He's going to have the slipstream of Olimak down the Minster straight. So can Brooker get the move done in the braking zone of this right hand of turn 10? I don't think he's going to have quite enough power in that Audi, but there's still an opportunity here. There's plenty of opportunity if Olimak just messes up that braking. So far it is fantastic driving from Olimak to keep that McLaren ahead in P5, but for the class win as well. As we see Morex cross the line. That is your race winner for the sprint race. A fantastic win for Morex. Wufka is going to cross the line in P2. Rapid Duck comes home in 3rd. Friedman's going to come home in 4th. Let's just go back on board with Olimak and Brooker, because that was the battle on the final lap. So Olimak's going to have the job done in P5. Brooker P6. Canesa P7th. That's Chris Gedman in the background there. Stereotypi is going to come home in 8th. Naisbitt in 9th. That's a good result for him. Rogers in 10th. That's a very good result for him as well. He's being quickly followed by McCutcheon, who's then got... Oh, in fact, J-Sarge has actually took... J-Sarge has lead McCutcheon, so J-Sarge finishes 11th, McCutcheon 12th, Chavez is 13th, Gilas 14th, Yugosito 15th, Buddy Lee is going to come home in 16th. He's got Chad Lancer right on his tail, so a really close finish there between P11, 12, 13th and 14th. So Chad Lancer's home in 17th, MPL's 18th, Jack Davidson 19th, Liam Not 20th, Captain going to come home in 21st. Then got Jack Slater coming around the final corner for 22nd. And then the final car across the line is going to be the Lamborghini of Stones Racing coming home in 23rd. So let's just give you a proper classification. So that is the classified results of race 1, the sprint race. Morex taking the win, and it's all going to be round 2 in a couple of minutes time for the feature race. We've got 40 minutes race coming up, guys, and hopefully we're going to have a rematch between some of these drivers. There's plenty of battles on track in that 20 minutes, and I think we're going to have even more to come in the next race. So a couple of minutes time I'll be back with you. So guys, the server has just reset and we're just doing the cars on the grid ready for the feature race tonight. That was carnage, wasn't it? I'm not sure how I kept up with that, to be honest, mainly with the help of my trusty vodka coke with me in the commentary box, but yeah, that was pretty carnage, but good fun and good racing there, to be fair. I know there was an incident on lap 1, turn 1, and we saw a little bit of door banging between Jack Davison, if I remember, but I think overall there's some really good racing there. Some good battles, drivers giving each other racing room. It was really good to see. always reserve judgment on people making mistakes on the first couple of corners on lap 1. It's always a little bit of carnage, I think, with that amount of cars going around the first few corners. There's always bound to be contact here or there, and most of the time it's accidental. But 40-minute race, I just do have to be a little bit more conservative at the start. They don't want to risk getting damage. That's even more important in the longer races. On Tuesday, when we do our races, and then obviously endurance racing, it really is essential to be nice and clean on the first few opening laps. It's almost like survival for the first few laps, and you can just kind of settle down into your race pace. But I think overall it was fairly decent racing. Just reading the Discord, and I noticed Moggs who saying that his suspension was a little bit naff. Hence probably why he lost traction going on to the long straight. So, what that result has done, though, in terms of the championship, has certainly spiced things up even more, because I said Rapid Duck, who is leading the way, he only finished P3. I mean, I say only finished P3, it's still a podium position. Morex took the win, and that's going to be vital, a little bit of a points boost for him and his championship campaign. And Woofka as well. So those top three really are going to be ever so close. It all depends on this feature race.
10 seconds.
So, air temp has just dropped again. It's now down to 15, but more importantly, track temp has dropped to 18 degrees. I think it was 21 at the start of the sprint. So, drivers hopefully have clocked that. But he's stereotypy in the pit lane. He's either not been able to click start or his game glitched. So Stereotypy, who did qualify 11th, is now in the pit lane. Jay Brooker, give me some screen time. Where are you, Jay? Come on, give me some screen time on the formation lap. Here you go, that beautiful Audi of the 166 of Jay Brooker. In fact, I think he's even done his makeup for the live cameras there. See if we can get a close-up of the cockpit and see if we can... Oh, there he is, look at his beautiful dashboard of the Audi. I wonder what he's got on the radio. Yeah, inside the helmet there of Jay Brooker, I can see the steam coming out of his ears. So, 40 minutes of racing up ahead, guys. Let's hope the drivers manage to recalculate their fuel, because we saw a couple of drivers at Silverstone running out of fuel at the end of the sprint race. So they won't want to make the same mistake twice. As we see all the cars there weaving, slamming the brakes on and trying to get the pressures up. Friedman doing a lot of weaving there. Potentially one-handed as well, as he's got one hand on a Marlboro Gold as he swivels down the straight. beautiful shot of all the cars coming through in the various liveries. As we see Knight lose the back end of that Audi, the McDonald's sponsored Audi. He certainly won't be loving it in the cockpit at the moment, doing that on a formation lap. Great commentator pun there, now as we have Captain go wide as well. So let's just quickly jump back on board as we're about to start the race. So, helicopter cam. So, we're about to go racing for PureSimGear Super Sprint Sunday at FRL on PlayStation 5 for the feature race tonight. As they're in their Noah's Ark 2x2 formation. And we are about to go racing, and we're off. Morex needs a cracking start. Wolfga's got a better start as well. Monks is getting bogged down. He's getting swallowed up by Rapid Duck. And Wolfga on the inside and outside of him, so he's in the middle. As Wolfga goes to the outside, Friedman is on the outside of Moggs. There is no contact throughout the grid. I think it's all fairly clean so far, as I'm just quickly switching through the cars. So it's all fairly clean from everyone. Let's just go back down the bottom. As with contact, we've got Brooker on the inside of Hugo C2, is it? A little bit of contact there. Rapid Duck is maintaining third, Moggs is fourth, Wolfga's second. Rapid Duck is going to have a very good exit on to the Minstrel Straight, and Wolfga's having to kind of weave to the side to try and break that toe. So Rapid Duck, this is a really important move for the championship standings here. Can you get in front of that Porsche? It's not great in a straight line. He's not exactly gaining though, but he's going to gain, I think, just before the braking zone. He goes to the left hand side, and Rapid's okay. I think he's going to go a little bit out wide there. Can he keep it on track? He just about keeps it. He's going to open the door to Moggs. If Moggs going to send it up the inside, he isn't. Moggs is sensible enough just to kind of back out a little bit, but the door is still open for him. So Moggs is having a better start so far. As we see Friedman as well, currently occupying 5th position. So Canese is 7th, Naisbit 8th, Liam Knotts 9th, Ollie Mack 10th as he's side by side with Shadow Lancer. Is that Ollie Mack? Sorry, it's not Buddy Lee, it's Ollie Mack, beg your pardon. So Ollie Mack, and then J Sarge and Shadow Lancer there. There's almost a little bit of contact between J Sarge. We've got Van Eck in 13th, we've got Ollie Mack boxing. So Van Eck is in P12, but he's got Jay Brooker. He wanted more screen time, and now you got it, son. Let's give us someone to shout about on camera. You're going to go up the inside, or you're not. You're going to maintain P13, just tucking behind Van Eck, the Dutchman. He's got to watch out for Chavez behind him, though, in the black McLaren. So let's just give you the breakdown of the UI. Where's Rapid Duck? Here he is. So the top 4 is ever so close again, but while these guys are squabbling away, Morex is just building that lead again. He's already got a 2.7 gap to Wolfga, and Wolfga's having to do a little bit of weaving again to try and break that toe. Technically, you can only make one move on the straight. You shouldn't really be weaving, and to be fair, he is not weaving that much. I think he has only done the one move. He's trying to break that toe, though, of Rapid Duck, but Rapid Duck's got to be careful because he's got Moggs behind him as well, who's then got Friedman. As we see Canesa and Hugo Stito in the background, battle for P6. Canesa is very hot on the heels of that Audi, the 107 Audi of Hugo Stito. Oh, that was so close. Oh, Hugo Stito's gone wide. Canesa goes flying through. Where's Naisbit? Can Naisbit also capitalise on the mistake from Hugo Stito? There's contact. They touch. Oh, dearie me. Naisbit has touched Hugo Stito. They've gone round. He's gone round. In fact, he's actually got running again quite quickly, so I don't think he's lost that many positions, but nonetheless, He was spun round by the 242 AMG Mercedes of Naisbitt, and Liam Knott is now looking to go up the inside of Naisbitt. And we've got Shadowlancer, we've got J-Sarge, we've got Van Eck there as well. So we've got battles throughout the grid. Let's just quickly go back up board. As we have seen a position change, so Rapid Duck has moved ahead of Wolfgang while we're witnessing that battle between Naisbitt and you can see too, we've missed Rapid Duck moving up ahead to P2. So Wolfga's now fallen behind to P3. Mods is now putting the pressure on Wolfga. So Wolfga is struggling in this race thus far compared to the sprint. He's not having the better of times as he was in the first race. Freeman is also sticking with these guys. So we have got 4 cars battling for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th here. And Canesa in the background will be looking to make haste and catch these guys up. So again, a little bit of weaving on the Minstrel Straight just to try and break that toe. So they make one move, they make the second move. They can't really make any more moves than that. So hopefully we don't see many cars weaving. And to be fair to them, they are sticking on that single line on the right hand side of the track. So 4 cars all in a row. And they all maintain their position. Let's just have a quick flip down as we see numerous cars come flying down the Minstrel Straight. Let's just try and work out who's who and who's battling who. So is this Stereotypy and Knight? It is. So Knight has got a little bit of a flappy bonnet there, currently in P17, which is an improvement on where he qualified. He's side by side with Stereotypy, who we saw start from the pit lane, I believe. He's all the way to 18th, so a cracking start from him, as he's always had to slam on the brakes to get out almost by tapping the rear end of Knight. So, battle for 17th here as they're round the final corner. Can Stereotypy get a better exit? You can't. Let's just rejoin the top 4 again, because these guys, look at them, absolutely fantastic racing from these 5 guys here, or 4 guys, because Morris is down the road, 5.5 seconds down the road already. So Freeman is sticking to these lot. Rapid Duck is still leading that train. And a little bit again, we see that 2 moves, and I think because they're in a bit of a, if it was Formula 1 you'd call it a DRS train, but it's a slipstream train at the moment. I think no car is really gaining or losing ground, as all 4 of them have got the toe. Well, all 3 of them have got the toe. Rapid Duck is just cutting through that air. But the BMW is no slouch in a straight line. As we see, Moggs is just closing up a little bit to Wolfga. Freeman will just be hanging back a little bit, just kind of looking to pick up any scraps of any battles what these guys do. So the order is as is for the moment. Let's just go down to the bottom of the grid, because you've got car 729 and Captain battling away. Now these 2 drivers, as you can see at the top of your screen, you've got the pink Mercedes of Morex. So the race leader is coming up to these guys, and these 2 are battling away for 21st and 22nd, as we have Buddy Lee and Ollie Mack, both early retirees, and I think Jack Davison also had contact on lap 1. He finds himself in 27th. But he's back on the track, whereas Ollie Mack and Buddy Lee are both early retirees from this race. So, these guys just cannot be separated, can they? They're all running within a second of each other. An absolute cracking battle. We've got 31 minutes of this to come. We're in for a treat. And let's just go down to Liam Knott, because Liam Knott is leading a train of cars. He's in P7, but he's got Yugasita behind him, he's got Naisbit, he's got Shudderlancer, he's got Jay Sarge, he's got Van Eck, he's got Brooker in 13th with a scratch Audi, MPL 14th, Gedman in 15th, he's having a solid race so far. He's just trying to catch these guys. And we've got yellow flags out, and the corner before that's Knight. So Knight is off. Not sure what happened to Knight, but he was running 18th, he's now dropped way down the order. Also, we see Naisbit and Yugasita. So these two, they had contact pretty much at this exact same place, but this time Naisbit gets the move done without making contact. Yugasita is now on all over the rear of him. Almost had deja vu then, but luckily Naisbit got the move done a lot cleaner and moves past Yugasito up into P8 for Naisbit. I'm just on board with Morex as he's got a McLaren in front of him. Now, is that Chavez? 729. Who is that? No, it is Chavez in the black McLaren. So Chavez gets out of the way of the race leader. So Moritz goes flying through. He's got a 7-second gap now to Rapid Duck. Rapid Duck is still not pulling away from Wufka. He's got Mods on here and then Friedman in P5. So these guys are still battling away as we've got the other flags out again. And Knight is off again. And I think this time he has made contact. I think that's Jack Davidson. It is. So Knight and Jack Davidson have made contact. I'm not sure whose fault that was. So Yugasita, who did lose position to Naisbit, has now got Shadowlancer on his tail. I've got yellow flags out again. That's Van Eck. So Van Eck has spun. The Dutchman is off, and he's rejoined, but he's rejoined ahead of who? Is that Gedman he's rejoined ahead of? No, it isn't. So Gedman's gone through. So I'm not sure where Van Eck has fell back to. There's a BMW behind him. Is it Jack Slater? It is. So it's Jack Slater, who's got Stereotypy on his tail. So Van Eck has fell down to 15th. And we're about to see Stereotypy get the move done, I think. He has. So Stereotypy moves up ahead of Jack Slater. Now, these guys are a lot closer. Moggs is a lot closer to Wufka. What can Moggs do here heading into turn 1? The problem with these guys is one mistake, one missed braking point, and he's going to lose position to all 4 of these guys. They're running on the limit that much. How has this only been 12 minutes? I know. Sorry, Marty, I've got 27 more minutes of this. All my brain power is being used up trying to keep up with this action. Let's just go on board with some of these guys and see if we can get some on-board action. So, as we can see now, in the cockpit of number 8 AMG Mercedes of Will Friedman, he's trying to keep that toe to Moggs. As we see another round of weaving, we're on board with Moggs. I think the move though, it's going to be Wufka. It is on the limit on that Porsche. Top speed of 173, just can't get any more out of that Porsche. As we see Rapid Duck go a little bit wide. That could be a track limit warning potentially. And he's got to watch out for, sorry, apologies, he's got to watch out for Moggs. This is really fantastic racing from 4 drivers who are on the limit here and serving up an absolute brilliant race. We've got traffic, we've got Rapid Duck flashing the lights, we've got a back marker up ahead. We're not sure who that is. Oh, there's contact! Friedman and Moggs! Friedman and Moggs have made contact. Oh, dearie me. Canesa goes flying on through and he says, "Thank you very much, gentlemen. I will take those 2 positions." So It was Moggs. I think it was the backmarker of Buddy Lee. Sorry, it was Captain who was the backmarker who was involved in that, and then Friedman just goes into the rear of that Ferrari on the brakes. Axel Racing drops a live comment on the stream saying, "Whoops, whoops, indeed." I think the Frenchman, the smoking Frenchman of Will Friedman, will be visiting the steward's room for that one post-race. It won't be his first visit either. The commentator says with a wry laugh. I can't read that out on stream, Axel. I'll get banned. So, let's just re-establish where we are as the commentator regains composure. So, Morex out in front, yet again just dominating this race as he did at Suzuka. So, this is the Morex we're used to seeing. We've not seen this Morex for a couple of races, but here he is, 10-second lead to Rapid Duck. Rapid Duck and Woofka. It was a four-way battle for P2. It's now only a two-way at the moment, but Daewoo and Woofka, and then the 212 Porsche is still maintaining his pace and maintaining that pressure on Rapid Duck. Rapid Duck is certainly not having it his own way this week. He is our back-to-back race winner of the last two races, Rapid Duck, but he is not the quickest guy on track this weekend. Is Rapid Duck boxing? No reason. He took such an aggressive line there on the side of the track, I thought he was going into the pits. So, Knaus is now P4, Moggs is P5, Friedman did back off and let him have that position back, so Moggs is 5th, Friedman 6th, Liam Nott in 7th. Naisbitt is your AM class leader. I've not mentioned that yet, but I have now. So the 242 AMG Mercedes of Naisbitt, Daniel Naisbitt, is your AM class race leader thus far with 23 minutes remaining. He's got Yuga Sito behind him. He did have Yuga Sito behind him. Yuga Sito's made a mistake. He's now dropped all the way back. I'm not sure what's happened there. We'll try and find out in a moment. But Naisbitt has got Shredder Lancer behind him. He's got Jay Brooker now in P2 in AM class. M. Piao is having a great race so far. He currently occupies 3rd in class. And Gedman, the very own Chris Gedman, he's in P12 having a solid race. But he's got the reserve of Jay Sarge behind him. And Jay Sarge is certainly, it may be a reserve, but he's a quick driver. He's only been racing a short while in FRL, but so far he has shown some good pace. Been a bit unlucky with a couple of contacts here or there in the races that he has done, but if he gets a clean race in, he can be shown to be quite a quick driver. So Gedman's going to have his work cut out for him. It's Beamer Veep Beamer on the straight. So there's Yugasito, he's dropped down to 14th. You've got Stereotype in 15th, Vanek in 16th, Jack Slater 17th, McCutcheon 18th. Probably his noodle arms will be struggling on the new direct drive wheel. He'll be, by the time this race is finished, he'll be like Popeye. Rogers in 19th, Knight in 20th, a long way back. Chavez in 21st. Chavez, he was having such a good race in the sprint race, but he's now all the way down in 21st. Captain 22nd, Gilas 23rd. Anderson 24th. Anderson, who is, I believe, if my memory serves me correct, retired from the sprint race, and he now finds himself in 24th in the feature race. And Anderson is the AM Class Championship leader going into this round, so he's having a disastrous weekend. Stones Racing's retired, Jack Davidson's still out on track in P26, Ollie Mack's retired, and Buddy Lee has retired. So that is your grid in order. And let's just rejoin top of the grid, because we've got Woofka still on the rear of that BMW, and Moggs is now catching back up to Knaus. So Knaus a little bit out of position. He is only in P4 because of the contact between Friedman and Moggs. So we're on board with Moggs now on the straight. That Ferrari certainly is a handful over those bumps. It does not like those curves, does it? It's not the first time we've seen Moggs struggle with the suspension of that Ferrari. I drive the BMW myself and I know it can handle the curves a lot better around here. The question is as well, how much damage has Moggs got? And also Friedman, you know, they did make that contact, so they could have quite a lot of damage. So race pace as well is staggering, really. 56 that last lap. It really is quick race pace from these drivers. We've got a slow car towards the back of the grid. I'm not sure who that was. I think it was Gilas potentially, the Aston Martin. With a driver going quite slow around those turn corners. So on board with J Sarge, he's got Stereotypy for company in battle for P14. As we're now on board with Moggs. Moggs is side by side with Canesa going into turn 10. I think he's got the move done. He has. So just joined on board just in time. As we see the number 14 Ferrari of Moggs gets the move done on Canesa and moves up to P4. And now Friedman will be looking to do a repeat move and regain P5. Let's just quickly jump on board with McCutcheon. I think he's in the slipstream of Jack Slater. He is. Can McCutcheon get the move done? He looks to the outside. I don't think he's got quite enough room to get the move done into turn 10. That is probably one of the most... Oh, to see a Mercedes in the background go flying off. I'm not sure who that was. Was it an Audi? No, I don't know who that was. I think it was a Mercedes. So, here is Wolfgang. No, we've not been on board with these guys for a couple of laps, but as you would have guessed, they are still stuck together like a hot Tinder date. Half a second separates them. And Rapid Duck is just going to have, I think, a whole race of Porsche in his back, in his mirrors. He's not been able to extend that gap whatsoever. He's just not been able to drop Wolfgang, and Wolfgang is now very close. Let's just go on board with the helicam as Wolfgang moves to the left hand side of the track. Rapid Duck cannot make any more changes, so the Porsche is actually he's actually made the move done. So Rapid Duck tucks him behind. Is he going to do like a reverse switch on him? I don't think he is. I just think he's lost the drive. He hasn't got the straight line speed. But Wolfgang goes a little bit wide, and Rapid Duck could send it up the inside. He doesn't. He does a wise move of just tucking him behind. So Wolfgang moves up to P2 in this race, and I think that move's been coming for about 20 minutes, to be honest. He's finally got the move done. The question is, can he now pull away? Can he do what Rapid Duck was failing to do and kind of get a little bit of a gap to get out of that slipstream? Because if he doesn't, I have a very funny feeling that BMW will be going flying past him next lap round. Let's just jump on board with Jay Brooker. He wanted more screen time, and to be fair to him, he's now getting himself into positions on track where I can warrant being on board with him, because he's putting pressure on MPL. This is the battle for 10th position, and this is the battle for 2nd place in class. So Jay Brooker, give us away, Jay. Audi certainly has been in the wars though. It's looking a bit of scratch paintwork, and the bonnet just flapping around ever so slightly. But it's not compromising Jay's speed at the moment, as he is piling the pressure on MPL. And I think we could be seeing another position change on the Minstrel Straight if he can keep on the rear of that Mercedes. So, what can he do? That Mercedes is so quick in the straight line compared to the Audi. Even with the toe, he's struggling to even make the move on MPL. I don't think he's going to run out of road. I think MPL's going to defend successfully going into turn 10. He is. It just shows you how quick that Mercedes is, or how slow that Audi is in the straight line, one of the two. Probably a little bit of both. Let's just jump on board with car number 12, which is which is Rogers. Because he's got the Mercedes of Anderson. It isn't for position actually, so this is Anderson looking to unlap himself, I believe. Is Rogers going to let him go? He isn't, he's just going to maintain position behind him. So, a lap later, Wolfka has still maintained second position ahead of Rapid Duck, but the gap is only, what, 3-4 tenths. And the straight line speed of that Porsche isn't great, so let's just see what happens here as we're quickly approaching the final 10 minutes of this race. Oh, also, just to bring you a little bit of pit lane news, we saw in the sprint race Friedman and Olimac battling away, and we saw Olimac kind of almost go off the throttle to let Friedman pass. It turns out Olimac only had, he's running very low on fuel. I think he's having to fuel save, as we've got yellow flags out at turn 1. That's car 170, which is Gilas, the Aston Martin, is off at turn 1. And so yeah, Olimac actually finished that race with only 0.1 litres of fuel, so that's why he was going very slow on this straight. He was having to fuel save. As we've got Liam Knott looking to make a move on Naisbitt. Naisbitt is the AM-Class leader so far, currently occupying P7 overall, but he's got the pro driver of Liam Knott all over his rear end. And on board with Hugo Cito, he's closing the gap to Chris Gedman, who's having a very good race so far in P12. Representing FRL admin. There he is. The grass cutter himself. There's not much grass for him to cut round it. It's all tarmac round Paul Ricard. And we see Rogers just jump on board with Rogers, and he's lost it on the, which corner is that? Is that turn 5? Turn 6. So we're not sure if there was contact, but Rogers, who was running 19th, he's now behind the Aston Martin of Gilas. There he is. And we've got Knight off as well on the Minstrel Straight, so not sure what's happened to him. He's had a few adventures today, and he's got to be careful. He's flinging traffic cones all over the place. So, Rapid Duck, P3, he's just dropped back a little bit to Wolfka, so Wolfka is starting to build that gap, 1.5 seconds separating those two. Friedman is 4th. So Moggs is boxed. Oh dear. Canesa 5th. Naisbit is now up to 6th. Not sure what happened to Moggs. We didn't see that earlier, did we? Am I having a brain fart moment? Have I just completely forgotten about something? But I'm pretty sure Moggs was not... He was running behind or running in front of Friedman laps ago. So we're not sure what's happened to Moggs. If you do know, then drop a comment in the box. But unless I'm having a brain fart moment, we've not seen that. That is a complete surprise to me to see Moggs in the box. So, Naisbit, Liam Knott 7th. Shadow Lancer is catching these two. So this is quickly becoming a three-way between Naisbit, Knott and Shadow Lancer. Knott has actually got a very good exit and he could be putting Naisbit under pressure. Naisbit having a very good race in P6 overall, but again, just to re-emphasise, is currently leading AM class in this feature race as Knott looks to the inside. He's heavy on the brakes. I was worried for a moment there's going to be contact between those two. And down the inside. Give each other space, guys. Oh dear. It looks like Naisbit just closed the door ever so much, ever so slightly. Closed that door on Liam Knott. He was having a move, having a look down the inside, and there's contact between Jay Brooker. There's a little bit of a pile-up. We've got Jay Brooker. Who was that? Was that Gedman? I think it was Gedman, wasn't it? It was Gedman. Or did Gedman survive that? Well, it is. So Gedman's got Liam Knott now, who we saw have the door shut in his face by Naisbit. Gedman is slow on that straight. Naisbit just pulls straight out. Morgan Gray's car bottomed out through sign corner, exit and 5 mil off. Couldn't steer without damage. With the damage. Oh, sorry to hear that, dude. So, let's just recatch up where we are. We've had quite a few incidents there just to kind of, as we see Stereotypic go wide. Right, Mercedes is looking a little bit of a handful. That tyres are potentially overheated a little bit. So let's just kind of recatch up where we are. We've not given Morex much screen time, but that's because he's so far out ahead. Morex, who's so far on course for a double race win tonight, is 18 seconds ahead. He's in complete control of this race. I think he could almost stop off and make himself his dinner for tonight and eat it and still get back into the car and come out in first place. That's not how much of his lead is tonight. Woofka P2. Rapid Duck is third. Is dropping back from Woofka quite a bit now. He's 2.5 seconds gap. Freeman is fourth. Canase is fifth. Naisbit is sixth, who we've seen been involved with a couple of incidents tonight. Shadow Lancer is 7th, Liam Knott 8th. Gedman is in the top 10 now. Gedman's having an absolute storming race, and I'm not just saying that because he's my boss, but he really is having a cracking race tonight, the grass cutter. Brooker is in 10th. I don't know how much damage he's carrying though. J Sarge 11th, Ugacito 12th, MPL 13th, Vanek 14th, Stereotypy 15th, McCutcheon all the way back in 16th, Jack Slater 17th, Rogers 18th, Chavez 19th, Captain 20th, Knight is still running in 21st, Anderson having a disastrous weekend in 22nd, Gilas 23rd and Jack Davidson 24th. Then we've got Moggs, Ollie Mack and Buddy Lee are retired from this race. Let's just jump on board with Jay Sarge because he's all over the back of that damaged Audi of Jay Brooker. As in fact we see him go wide, and I think Jay Brooker's going to retake that position. This is the battle for 10th position. We've got Hugo Cito involved there as well. Let's just go on board the helicam and get a better view of all this. There we go. So Jay Sarge, we've got Brooker up ahead, Jay Sarge in the middle in the BMW, and then we've got Hugo Cito in the 107 Audi. So we've got Audi, BMW and Audi. Jay Sarge is looking the quicker driver at the moment. We know that Audi is carrying significant damage. You can just see that by the bonnet of Jay Brooker. He'll be under immense pressure now for the final 6 minutes of this race. I'll be surprised if he can hold on to 10th position, but more importantly, 2nd position in class. as we see Hugo Sito very late on the brakes there, almost going into the rear end of J Sarge, as J Sarge loses it on traction. The BMW just stepping out ever so slightly, and that could open the door to Hugo Sito on the inside of this corner. He's later on the brakes. Hugo Sito down the inside, giving Hugo space. Oh, to be fair to them, J Sarge does leave racing room, but Hugo Sito backs out of it. I think Hugo Sito's got a better line through these corners now though, and I think J Sarge, who was piling the pressure on Jay Brooker, is now going to find himself the hunted. So Hugo Sito goes flying past, he moves up into P11, and now J Sarge will get the tow, and Jay Brooker will quickly have a new challenger, I think, for second in class and top 10 overall. You can just see Jay Brooker, how much damage he's carrying. His straight line speed is horrendous. So this is the closest battle on track at the moment. I'm quickly going to jump on board though with Will Freeman in a moment, because he is catching up to Rapid Duck. This is the battle for the podium position. We're heading into the final 4 minutes, well, we are in the final 4 minutes of this race, and Will Freeman, the smoking Frenchman, is putting the pressure on Rapid Duck. He'll be hunting down for that podium position. His home race. His home race indeed. He'll be looking for a podium position to round off, to cap off, shall I say, this Grand Prix. So, can he get himself a podium position in his home race? The gap is decreasing corner by corner. I did not mean to do that. I wanted to jump on board with Mr. Freeman. Here he is. So we're heading into the final couple of laps, and this is the battle for third place overall. Battle for the podium. Rapid Duck, who is your back-to-back race winner at Silverstone and Kyle Army, is under pressure here at Paul Ricard. Freeman is going to have an almighty opportunity now to take this podium position down the Minstrel Straight. He's probably got, what, 2 more laps? 1 more lap? That BMW is no slouch in a straight line, though. He's not closing quick enough. Is he now though? Is the toe now starting to kick in? He's going to pull to the left. Let's get on board with the helicam. So they're going to go side by side into turn 10. The battle for third place. Freeman's even got the move done before the braking zone, and Freeman moves ahead, gets the move done on the outside of turn 10, and Will Freeman, the number 8 Mercedes driver, moves up into third place at his home race at Paul Ricard.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
So we're on our final lap. As you've just seen, the race leader, here he is, starts the final lap, and he's got an almighty lead to Wolfgang in P2. The UI will update in a moment, and as you can see, Freeman has now moved up P3. Let's just have a quick look at Jay Brooker. He was battling away with Hugo Sito and Jay Sarge, and as expected, he is now quickly falling down that order. Now finds himself 5th overall in class and P13 in total. As we see, I think it's Stereotypy in the background going wide. That Mercedes, it must be carrying damage because he's been all over the place in the final few moments. Let's just keep an eye though on this battle for P3 because I don't think this is done just yet. Rapid Duck, he's got an opportunity to do the opposite, do a repeat, sorry, or reversal. Get the words right, Lewis. He's got an opportunity here. Has he got the straight line speed to retake that podium position? I don't think he has. Freeman, I think he's benefiting from a tow from the car in front of Chavez. Freeman's got to keep it tidy though. It's the final few corners to go. He's got to hold on as we see Chavez up ahead go around the inside of the McLaren. I think that's Rogers potentially. Chavez gets that move done up ahead at the bottom of your screens there. Let's just jump on board with our race leader quickly. He's about to cross the line, so Morex is about to cross the line as your double race winner here at Paul Ricard for round 5 of PureSimGear Super Sprint Sunday. Morex is your race winner. Wolf's going to come home in P2, and the battle for the final podium position is coming to its conclusion. They've got lap markers, and Freeman have managed to maintain his 3rd place. We've got one more corner to go, and Freeman is going to come home. The flashing lights of Rapid Duck to congratulate him. Woofter comes home in 2nd, Freeman 3rd, Rapid Duck 4th. Canesa is going to come home in a very respectable 5th position. And let's just switch our attention to the AM class as Naisbitt, who has been involved with a couple of incidents in the feature race tonight, is going to come home provisionally as your race winner for the AM class. He's got a 7-second gap to Liam Knott behind him. I think unless he has 15 seconds penalties, I think he's going to keep that AM class win. So Naisbitt comes home in 6th. Liam Knott's going to come home in 7th, but he's got Shadowlancer right behind him. That's battle in the final lap. So Knott 7th, Shadowlancer 8th, Gedman coming home in 9th. Cracking race from Chris, flashing the lights for the cameras. Hugo Sito 10th, J Sarge in 11th, MPL is 12th, and Jay Brooker flashing for the cameras again in 13th, 5th in class. Stereotypy 14th, the Dutchman Van Eck coming home in 15th, and here is old wee Danny McCutcheon rounding the final few corners to bring that McLaren home in P16. Axel Racing, get Chris G a tissue, must have a nosebleed. I reckon he will have, mate. He's not used to finishing that high up. I mean, he is used to finishing 9th, isn't he, when there's probably about 10 cars racing. He certainly isn't used to finishing 9th when there's 29 drivers. So, Morex has done a whole lap of honour, almost. He's done a whole lap waving to his fans. And as he pulls into the pits there, look, your race winner for tonight, double race winner, cracking performance from Morex. So, that's all your cars done. Let's just give you a classified order. There you go. Let's take a screenshot of that. So guys, that is your 2 races for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the racing. Please do, and I hope you've enjoyed the stream as well. Please do drop a like on the video if you haven't already done so. Every like and every follow, etc., every view goes towards the channel, helping support FRL, boosting our viewers and driver numbers. And we've got a lot of exciting racing still to come. We haven't got a live interview lined up this weekend, I'm afraid, Axel. I've been a little bit lazy this week. I haven't managed to get my pre-race or post-race interview lined up, so unfortunately we haven't got a driver to talk to us live today. So, in terms of the action to come on FRL, let's just bring you the calendar for the final 4 races of this season. So tonight was round 5 at Paul Ricard. Next week we head to Barcelona, which will be an interesting track. Barcelona, it's not my favourite, to be honest with you. It's quite a hard track to overtake, but funny enough, quite good timing actually, as Axel is watching live. I did actually race in Barcelona last night in another league, and funny enough, I actually won that race. I'm sure Mark, who's listening, will be loving the fact that I'm mentioning that. So Barcelona's round 6. Round 7 we head to Alton Park. Alton Park's a great track. I think that's going to be a cracking race to watch. I think it's going to be carnage. I think it's going to be a lot of people cutting grass, but a good race nonetheless. Watkins Glen is round 8. One of my favourite tracks. Watkins Glen, fantastic track to lap around. Round 9 we head to Spa, and then the season finale is Imola. So we really do have some exciting races to bring you guys live here on FRL. And don't forget, the tracks do stay the same throughout the series, throughout the week. So Taco Tuesdays and the late night series will follow the same track. And then, as I said at the start of the stream, do keep your eye out on Discord, because we do have the Team Endurance event going to be starting next month. We're looking to do a spring series for driver swap, pending any issues with the servers and game, etc. So we are looking to do a test race this coming Friday, just for FRL members only, as it is a test race, just to test the functionality of the servers and the driver swap, etc. And then there will be a public sign up for the driver swap spring series. We're looking to do 3 races, around about 2 to 3 hours long, with no mandatory stop, but obviously there will be driver stint limits in there. So we're looking to bring you that very, very soon. And that pretty much sums it up for me, I think, for tonight. As I said, thank you for joining me live on stream. It's very much welcome and appreciated. You guys watching live, dropping the comments, etc., keeping me entertained in the commentary box. I hope you all have a very good week, whatever you're doing, with family, work, school, whatever. Hope you have a cracking one, and I'll catch you guys next Sunday. Take care. Cheers. Bye bye.